Welcome to the Mental Health Show. My name is Shamika Samuels. I hope that you enjoy your lovely evening. It was a pleasure to be here. I took the 5 train over here. It was a good smooth ride. Not even crowded and stuff like that. So today is a wonderful day, and we're going to be talking about building culture instructions in higher learning and mental health. So let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about this. We believe in cultural differences as far as the mental health. And today on my show is dress down day for me. So you see my new swag. Oh, thank you a lot. Thanks to my fans. Thank you. So when we build up instructions and mental health, we learn about understanding the culture of what it is that you're more thankful for, and that you're more pursuing, or what you're forgiving and whatever in that nature. So when we build up culture, we build up in a way of understanding your features and understanding what you are believing and what you are receiving in culture, right? So we learn how to promote and learn. And when you promote and learn, you know how to define culture in the way of what understanding and more building. I could tell you, culture and understanding and building is how we develop our state of mind. And when we develop the state of mind, we could be able to understand what it is to build up our culture and understanding of what our life is. And your life cycles and what it is to define what your culture is. So put it out there. A lot of people want to know what I did yesterday. So I'm gonna tell you what I did yesterday. So yesterday I was doing an experiment in Queens, and we are doing an experiment in Queens to evaluate mental health and people's behaviors. We did that one time, and we're actually coming up with a new idea for the show. Is a talk show that we're gonna come up with, where we evaluate a person's mood, and we evaluate. That means we do like a polygraph test, where we ask them questions, and as the questions that we ask them, if it's no or yes, and we did that result, and the result came back as 95% of mental health individuals that struggles with it. It's it's a struggle for people that go through it. And we offer them, help as far as, getting them into, we refer them to like a psychiatrical and whatever in that state of mind. We don't, let me tell you this. I'm not a licensed psychiatrist to diagnose patients. I'm not a licensed physician to diagnose people, but I am an entrepreneur that knows mental health, and that believes that mental health is a number one topic that's concerned of American people. And also we have to understand that American people, they go through certain things, and the one thing that they go through is stress at work. They always stressed out at work. They always have an ability to be stressed out, and they always have something where they don't they don't know when to relax, and they don't know when to stop and take a deep breath and calm down. And especially when they go through their household and when they go home, and they're sitting there, and they're not mentally challenged, and you say, all right, my mental health is challenging, but how I could define and how can I relate to that challenge. And certain type of challenges in life is about understanding your patterns and your principles, and how we present ourselves and how we conduct ourselves in a right direction, right? So we learn about patterns and principles as building up mental health. As far as, when I play basketball and I'm on the court and I'm dribbling the ball, I have to understand mental health in basketball is that when I see an instructions that I learn, I gotta move the court. I gotta move to dribble the ball to go down to the court to make a shot. But sometimes when I miss the shot, I have to keep trying again. But the thing about it is, wherever your mood swings are and whatever your patterns and principles are, you have to understand certain type of feedback and certain type of things that you're going through is not to offend a person. It's for you to help a person. And when you help a person, it's kind of like, I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to swag myself. I'm going to do what I do. But the thing about it is, when I swag myself, I ain't going to look good, because my structure is not good. You know what I'm saying? If I don't look the part and I don't present myself in a good way, I have to learn how to present myself differently. So let's go into the episode today, and we're gonna go deep. You feel me? We're gonna go deep. I like to say that we're gonna go deep, right, man? And we're gonna do deep, right? So when you build up instructions of mental health, you're building up culture instructions in that position. And the today's message is building up a culture that promotes learning in schools and research institutes that mental health education is very important to our society. And the one thing important to society is affordable housing. And the one thing that we have to understand, when you have a part of building of affordable housing, a lot of mental health is in affordable housing. And we build up affordable housing in what we call life and large love. And the large love is affordable housing mental health is a part of building, and it's also a part of what? It's also very important to build of a crew production facility. And we learn about building a crew production facility because in a way of building of culture instruction is about building up crew production facilities, that it makes affordable housing more affordable for people who can afford it. But the way of society is about build and growth. And what we have to understand, the world of growth is the world that surrounded us through growth, And a lot of people say, well, how did you do it, Shamika? How did you lose weight? How did you express yourself in a different way? Let me tell you how did I do it. I did it because I feel that the patterns and principles of our life is about understanding the structures of defining who am I as a person. But if I have to define myself in a different route, I have to learn how to present myself in a positive way. You see, I came to the show dressed down because I just say, you know what? I instead of me wearing a dress shirt every show, I'm gonna come dressed down and see how my fans like it. You feel what I'm saying? So when you come on the show, you dress professional. I dress the part because sometimes when we don't dress the part and we don't understand the culture differences of our life, it's about understanding how to surround ourselves in a different way and meaning. So let me tell you. I had an interview, like I said, I had an interview with a Methodist pastor, and the interview went very well, and it was very awesome interview, and he asked me something that people want to hear, and my fans want to know the truth about life. So I said to the pastor in an interview that I rather live a heterosexual lifestyle than a same sex lifestyle, because a heterosexual lifestyle is a gender that you identify as, that you're attracted to. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm a heterosexual man, identify myself as a man that's attracted to a female. And and to be honest with you, I rather live that heterosexual lifestyle so my family members can accept the lifestyle that I'm living now than judge my lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying? So when we learn about that, is that when I think about my life, I think about my life in a very positive relationship. And a relationship that I wanna discuss on the show is that mental health wise is that a heterosexual lifestyle is the best lifestyle for me, because I learned that when I identify myself as a man that's attracted to the woman, the people have to show me respect as a heterosexual man attracted to a female. When they look at me on the train, you don't need to judge me and talk about me behind your back, and you don't understand how it is to feel in that position. So the way how I dress and the way how I come on the show is that you feel that mental health, what state of mind is that when you live in a heterosexual lifestyle and mental health is your lifestyle in that position, it to understand how your culture is and how your fulfillment is. And the thing that I learn about is that when we build up culture, it's a part production facilitate that we have to learn how to guide ourselves into that guiding light of our life. And we talk about guiding light. We talk about the light of the guide. And we talk about how we refer ourselves as the guiding of our future. And our future of guidings and our future of understanding is to represent yourself in the right direction of your culture. And that's what we talk about, is building up our mental health and understand our relationship as far as what relationship that you choose to be in, and how your family members will accept that relationship that you choose to be in. You understand? But the thing about it is, we have to understand the production of what it means and how our structure balance is, And the thing about it is that when I had an interview, I said one of the things that people have to understand is how would you feel if a person judge you or say something to you or look at you like a piece of trash and say, listen, I'm this and that, but at the end of the day, you talk about people, but you don't know the story of the person. And I think that the thing about it is when you learn about the story of a person, you got switch it in a way how people will understand your story and understand your vision and understand your dreams of aspirations of your life. The thing about it is that when we look at our story plan and we look at what our facilitator is, and I want you to write these 6 things down, and as I read it to you. So the one thing that I learned is learning to build community. And to learn to build community is a structure of our plan and how we build it and how we present it in a good culture. But the patterns and principles of culture is that you have to understand the relationship between culture and the relationship between yourself. And what is it that I think about culture? Is to build activities that can help students develop their mental well-being. And one of the things that I development is mental development skills will help students develop individual skills in their classroom environment, and also mental development that affects man and physical strength that could affect their ability. And let me tell you this: the truth is the difference that we have that I want to share with you is that the difference of mental health development that affects men with physical strength that could affect their ability. A lot of men experience mental health with PMS, while PMS is a condition that primarily associated with women that that complex of intable male syndrome that describes the similar mood swings and behavior changes in men, often linked in inflation, particularly testosterone. The evidence states that the suggestion that mental health may affect men and women that wear protective gear avoiding injuries. All right. According to the physicians who reports that mental health conditions have increased significantly since 1990s, cultural differences between a man and woman that became increasingly pronounced among both genders. What we read, what I'm reading you is the evidence of what I evaluated yesterday while I was in Queens, right? So, pharmacists research that upwards mental health conditions are often associated with women where they're diagnosed with PMS, where they wear brands, and men experience the same condition have women and we call it depending of guards that to protect themselves from what from infection disorders. Building up culture where men and women have suffered with depression and anxiety and other symptoms are most common symptoms, right? The most common symptoms involving stress disorder that can cause several depression, where men and women involving smoking weed and alcohol, dependence. And the thing about it is alcohol dependence and smoking weed dependence, it depends on men and women's PMS lifestyle. The PMS lifestyle that instructions of ballerinas as far as mental health, it reflects on the person's well-being as far as dividing the two. And as I divide the two, we have to learn that our mental health is a pattern and principles as far as what we believe and how we associate our life cycles and our lifestyle. And a certain lifestyles is that a lot of building of cultures of our lifestyle is that what a man experience different type of symptoms of women. And the thing about it is that's the reason why when I share this on the interview, and I said in the interview that it doesn't matter who you are as a person. All it matters is how your family members will accept you as who you are from now and as your gender that you identify as. And certain people is talking about what our lifestyle is and what our future holds. And the thing about it is I'd rather marry a woman than marrying the gender that that I identify as. You know what I'm saying? Because as a heterosexual man, I identify myself as that culture that experiences, suffers, and understand the struggles of it. it understands of the principles of how we create and how we create the tools of our life. And our lifestyle is that you could define yourself in a principle, and how can you relate to that principle as far as belief and receiving it in a different standard. And our standard is it that when we look at standards and we look at how our lifestyle standards are, we could define what our personality is and how our love is. You know what I'm saying? So let me read you a couple of expressions of a type of mental health, right? The expression of mental health, right? Men experience a type of mental health, right? So men experience a type of mental health. Men menopause, testosterone levels. Men wear dependent guard for men. Women experience the type of mental health. Female menopause, menstrual cycles, and women wear always pad and tampons. And let me get that. Let me pause it there. There's a difference between a woman and a man. All right, and there's a difference. Let me tell you the difference. The difference between a woman and a man that's a very good teaching, because people say I like the teachings. It's a very good teaching because the difference between a woman and a man, women ovulate for 28 days and 30-day cycles, right? A man, they have hormone shift where their testosterone level grows to a 24-hour shift in testosterone levels, right? There's a difference, right? So the woman wears, you go to the pharmacy, you see the where they sell what they call it, woman medical wear and man medical wear, exactly. So there's a two different type of situations where a woman and man produce different type of PMS hormone, and the man what do you call it? The men have a different type of PMS than women, and men experience body hormone levels like beard hair on their body, hair on their private parts, and deeper voice. You feel me? I experience hair on my face, as you can see, hair on my body, and deeper voice because I have something called Klinefelter syndrome. It's a genetic disorder that affects boys with extra copy of chromosome. You understand what I'm saying? So the difference between that is that development of gynecomastia in men and women, they develop breast mood swings. So gynecomastia in men, they have a different types. They have type A, the type 1, type 2, type 3, type 7. And also it's the different type of types where a man develops those type of symptoms that women develop. And there's some certain things that you have to understand in that situation, because the situation of your life is defining yourself as what we are believe and what we are receiving as. And there's certain type of things that you have to understand as far as mental health state of mind, right? So building up culture of mental health is to be educated in lifestyle development and building skills in order to benefit your daily living routine. Self-esteem. Issues involving anxiety disorder and behavior issues that can affect your ability to grow and improve yourself as your age and becoming more confident about yourself. And the one thing I want to say is building cultural help. Building up culture helps. It helps us to explore different venues. It helps us to understand mental health differently. It understands your patterns of principles as far as believing in how we grow and how we suscitate our life. And when you suscitate our life is reducing capacity to achieve your self-confidence. Building culture helps your organization grow. Developing skills that provides your team members with resources that talks about mental health. So the resources that talk about mental health is that you have to understand the divide of what your surroundings are and what are you doing as far as building up yourself, and have the ability to choose different lifestyles and how our lifestyles may maintain and how our culture stands. All right. So our culture stands in one divide. I'm going to tell you, when you divide culture, you step back from the revelation powers of culture. And when you step back on revelation of culture, we have to revise ourselves and receive it differently as what we are growing and how we are developing, right? So when we revise it, you have to structure it as a balance of belief and differences of how our culture is standing. And let me tell you how we stand, right? We stand in what? Reflection. We stand in fundamentals, and we also stand in what our lifestyle is. And our lifestyle is self esteem that involves that involves an anxiety disorder and behavior issues that could affect your ability to grow and improve yourself as you age, as you become self confident. So when you become your age group, and when you define yourself as an age position, what do they call it? Participant of a group, you have your resources that will find you in a way of life. So I thank Career Compass for, giving me this opportunity for me to share my story, because my story could affect millions of people in the world. But how it's going to affect millions of people is how my balance of structure is. And how my balance of structure is that we have to learn and understand what you really feel, and how your outcome and how your battle rhythms will feel. And the thing about it is, when my battle rhythms will feel differently, I have to learn my structure past and change the past and flip it into the future. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, reducing capacity that could achieve your self-confidence and building culture helps your organization grow. Develop skills that provide your team members with resources, and also talk to a mentor about building cultural skills in your community. So talk reflection skills. So your talk reflection skills is how you present yourself and how you meditate yourself. And how you present yourself will refer you to how your social ethics are and your social beliefs are. And your social ethics is to divide in what your patterns and what your principles and what your precepts are, right? So your patterns and precepts is how your mental health state of mind is going to be building up culture, right? So we talk about reflection skills. So let's go into how we develop culture. So they asked me, what is my favorite part of building culture in Fight Fest Productions? My favorite, that's a good question. My favorite part in building a Fight Fest production is to develop a well-being plan for my organization. And I tell you what I believe in. I believe in playing basketball and sports. And I've been generating a couple of stuff about sports, and I want to answer the question real quick before we go. I'm gonna go into the answer. So my favorite part about building culture in Five Fest Production is creating an opportunity to explore different ways to educate and engage my audience to newer networks and communities that will engage in building relationships and grow expansion of culture, diversity, and community development in number one, building a culture in affordable housing development programs called Funding Capital of the Barbara Rankin Court, community development, building communities in developments in mall, retail development, and culture diversity, creating my own new product, and creating inclusive environments, building culture diversity and creating culture in production, environmental team leaders and members, creating diversity in the media culture, building building community values of understand how we create values in our organization and boundaries in our community environment. And the one thing I said, but building up community environment is for you to understand how we reach our audience, and how we reach our younger generation, and how we reach the older generation, and how we reach the community of people. And the thing about community of people is that when you build up values of understanding is how we create values of organization. And to learn how to reach your audience through socialization and designing websites and community engagement with your brand. How you conduct your contact in the right direction, how you part your how you put your clothes together, how you dress in a workplace, how you present yourself in a workplace, how you treat people, respect yourself and elders, leverage it. Let me say that one time. Respect your elders, right? Respect your elders and yourself. Leveraging yourself in meaning, creating space and boundaries to develop your public speaking skills. Mental health awareness becomes more powerful than what we use the platform to promote and engage people around the community. So I want to show you a picture of what I was talking about, and I designed this myself. So I designed this myself actually. So this is what I did it through a art app on my phone. It's a generated app, right? So as we scroll down here, this is a basketball team that's trying to do teamwork. And this is how I develop a skills like that. This is how I did it. And also I did this, I generate this, and I said in here that through all the journeys that elaborates with mental health is a team of leaders, and this is the new jerseys that I'm going to be building up for the mental health team. Actually, I did not tell you. I'm going to share with you at the end. And right, so this is what we're going to be building. This is what we building and developing, right? So they introduce the new culture norms of younger people, of men and women, right? So the younger people are men and women, right? Younger people are men and women that culture transitions have ability in creating new cultural values of developing societies of mental health. And one thing that can create new culture norms is setting new standards and values that could reflect on society growth as well of your community development results and showcasing your skills in community that provides the most valuable knowledge is respect yourself, and for others is asking yourself that what can you change or what can you relate in regards of mental health. The tweet quotes: renew your thoughts with questions that will help your community leaders understand how to improve your mental health well-being. Mind your business and stay in your lane. That's one thing. That's the second thing I want to say. When someone is speaking on a Bluetooth headphone, stop listening to the person's phone conversation because that is disrespectful to the person who is trying to create peace in the community. Create Creating boundaries in a relationship between a man and woman or your partner, and put your arguments into context, meaning a cultural song or cultural identity shift towards a man and woman or your partner. Stop opening up the door and listen to people's conversation about what the person is talking about, and stop going back to tell the person what they say and how it's disrespectful and rude and disgusting and gross behavior. Mind your business and stop being nosy in people's business. All right. One thing is, growth principle requires respect and understanding of world of around us to determine how you grow your culture, your own culture identity and cultural norms. Growth principle theories provide tools that can help your identity growth principle. What is your characteristic behind all this, right? So my characteristics behind all this culture is my challenge here is to the concept of principles that provide insights into gender identity and mental health. One character that can relate directly to me is my mother Andrea Samuels and my father Andrew Orwood. I get both personal experience with my father Andrew and my mother Pedro Samuels because the concept passed down to your children. Once you graduate into your 30s, your mental health challenges change when you hit puberty and experience having multiple different experiences that will characterize your ability towards adulthood. Voice changes, hair growth, adjusting to newer things, getting married, and future plans. Define yourself as personal values of cultural standards based upon your mental health lifestyle. That correct growth and understanding on mental health, it depends on how much more you grow as you learn. So the one thing that I shared on my last video is that when you divide yourself into different cultural norms, right? You're dividing yourself as your personal values of understanding of what your cultural norms is. My culture norms is that you believe in a change in your life, psychologically and mentally. My psychological verse is to understand the patterns and principles of how our life is and how we define our certain situation of how our culture is. And the thing about it is, define yourself in the personal values of cultural standards are based upon your mental lifestyle. We talked about this in the beginning of the mental health show, in the beginning of the podcast 2 years ago, and I want to bring it up again. And the one thing that I wanted to share with you, the four things that I want to present to you is create your own self-esteem based upon your per, um, per, percentages on your society status on personal structures. Setting goals for new year preparations of your life journeys on your own culture self-esteem. Develop on your cultural skills that will make your self-confidence work and grow. Develop your personal qualities that will make your mental health more important and make your boundaries in place. How do you define managing boundaries that will show you to maintain your personal values, or values? And the one thing is, the views of boundary is leveling yourself, level your boundaries, level your arguments, level your motivation, level your strength levels, level your ability, level your cultural knowledge, and learning how to divide your culture into groups of leadership. Right? So we learn about cultural leadership that defines your mood swing personalities. And the one thing people have a hard time understanding is, and we talk about a lot of people will say that sex is more culture normal than mental health. And a lot of people will say that, right? A lot of people say sex is more healthier than mental health. The thing about it is sex and mental health can delay your development in mental health. And your culture development skills and your emotions will change your hormone levels. So sex can indicate your hormone level shift. So when you're having sex in a mental, it could delay your development in mental health. That could cause your cultural skills and your emotional skills will change of hormone levels. So sex in mental health, it describes your mood swings and personal patterns. It electrically delays your emotion and how you define yourself in a relationship. You build your personal skills and by creating your journal planner and review your your mood patterns. And in the interview where the pastor was talking about sex in a relationship, I actually said something on live, and I'm gonna say it again on what I said. I said that in sex and mental health is what your gender identity is in sex and mental health. And I said I rather have a heterosexual relationship than a same sex partner relationship, because when I learned about heterosexual relationship, it's about having ability to oversee the boundaries of my lifestyle and how my life cycle is. But sex and mental health, and as a heterosexual man, it delays my ability to level up myself as a cultural standard. It actually delayed my ability to learn the positive principles of how my life cycle is occurring to be, and how I dress in how do I dress and how do I communicate and how do I present myself as. That could affect your sex and mental health as well. But at the end of the day, your levels of energy that creates boundaries for yourself, and the sex and mental it creates boundaries of myself, because I have to learn that wherever I go through certain things in my life, I have to see that my partner as my wife, my partner is my wife, that will understand that wherever sex and mental health retrieve in that is how your heterosexual lifestyle is. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is that when you talk about it, you describe your mood swing cycles and how your mental health cycles could divide in a peace of mind. And your peace of mind is that wherever your wife or your husband feel and wherever your partner feels in a relationship, you have the right to express it in a different point of view. You have the right to share it in a different point of view. You have the right to say, all right, I could talk it out on live, and I could say how my topics are, and if the topics are inspiration to people that touch people's life. Yeah, I will touch your life in that patterns and principles. But my life cycle that could define who I am as a person in that mental health characteristic is that you define the level of your mental energy as creating boundary for yourself and the relationship with your partner. It could cause argument when you're having sex. It could cause arguments. Yeah, the woman wants to be touched sexually, and the man don't want to touch the woman because the man feel like, oh, when I come home from work, it's gonna be an argument if we go ahead and have sex in an argument. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is when you don't realize certain type of aspect of life, a woman sometimes cry when they have sex. A woman, let me talk that again. A woman cries when they have sex. They argue and cry when they're having sex. You know what a man? They cry because at the end of the day, when you have sex with a man and or you're having sex with a woman, it could relate to your mental health state of mind. It can relate to the positive principles of mental health. And the thing about it is that sex can delay your mental ability to try different things. And the thing about it is, it reflects of accepting yourself. It reflects on reformation. It refers to your boundary space as relationship and focus on your global leadership. Sexual in a marriage can cause depression and anxiety. Is renewing your boundary is going to your level inner circle and building up your confidence, develop newer skills. Leveling your self defense, meaning your body and your mind become stronger in building up your mental capacity. Setting rules in the bedroom is to make your rules clear and simple and build up your mental health strategy and strength and development. And I also tell people this: when you do yoga development, I do yoga. I do yoga as to renew my mind, body, and spirit. I do my yoga because when I do my yoga, it set me to a point where when I come on the show, I'm more calm and I'm more ethical. When you're calm and ethical in your life, you're calm in the way that people will understand why you come in the show, you come in the studio positive. I'm very positive because I'm calm when I do yoga. Before I came to the studio, I did yoga. Oh, let me tell you, how many of y'all men do yoga? Raise your hand. No. How many of y'all men do yoga? Raise your hand. How many women do yoga? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you do yoga. Raise your hand if you do yoga. Raise your hand. No. Raise your hand if you do yoga, right? Raise your hand if you do yoga. All right. No, raise your hand if you do yoga, right? Raise your hand if you do yoga. All right. Y'all raise your hand, right? So, in yoga, how is your sexuality in yoga maintained on your mental health? My sexuality in yoga and maintained of spirituality of visions. And when you look at your mind, it regrows your mind in different settings. And if it regrows your mind, like I said, it could regrow my mind too. You feel me? It could regrow my mind as far as setting up a type of conclusion. But the conclusion is that sex and mental health cause disconnected in your lifestyle and your brain levels. Setting boundaries of your physical health and mental health needs are one thing that sex can do in your life. Is gaining weight because a man don't think a woman is attractive because their body levels of weight size. So what a woman does to ease up their mood, they eat a lot of junk food. And the one thing they eat is a lot of Popeyes and Mickey D's and the McChicken. I'm saying the McChicken and the French fries and the Coke. That's what I'm saying. They drink the McChicken and the French fries and the Coke. And they start to gain a lot of weight because the man don't think they're attractive because the sex ain't good. And the sex ain't good, that means if you don't have the sex in your life, the sex ain't gonna be great because your woman is overweight. And you talk about that, right? You talk about that because you eating too much of the McGrills and the Coke. That's what I'm saying. You're eating too much of the Coke because your Coke and your lifestyle it divides in the piece of what your Coke is and what your lifestyle is, right? So yeah. So the three things, right? Number one, sex diversity is our society will increase our capacity to shape societies around issues that can impact your mental health. Improving education that will improve living standards and living conditions in setting up rules and regulation that will benefit everyone involving with you. Defining your values as levels up your arguments and creating your boundaries in your relationship and setting up rules and guidelines that will improve your communication skills level. And the one thing that I want to share with you is the mental health brand that I designed myself, and I have a lot to right. So I got started right here though. Okay, let's start it. So I was working on some designs here, and I'm gonna show it with you right here, real quickly. Yeah, right there. Okay. So as we share with you, this is a sneaker that I designed for mental health. As you can scroll down here. These are the Jordans that I'm gonna be coming out with soon. It's a mental health Jordan sneaker, and I designed this myself on Shoe Zero. And yeah, these are the two Jordans I designed. Another one right here, another sneaker right here. This is the Converses right here. This is another Jordans I did. Another one here. Another Jordan sneakers right here. This is a different styles right here. Right there. All these are mental health branding. So all these that I designed right here is all. This is the slippers and also the sneakers right here, the shirts. This is a sweater right here, and all these right here are. This is the slippers that I did, And all these are mental health brands that we're doing for the show. And these are what we're working with for the show. And as you can see, this is the hats. These are the hats right here. This is the hat, another hat, shorts. This is a woman yoga shorts actually. This is the shirts right here, and this is the uptown sneakers. This is the Converses. Also for children, also for the men right here. So this is what we are. This is what we are doing as far as mental health, right? So share with you guys. This is very inspirational. It's very conclusional. It's very development, and it's very very mental health wise, right? So we're gonna go back double standards of mental health, and I wanted to show you what we are looking into right here. So this is development of what we are going to be talking about for the Barbara Rankin project, right? So everybody want me to talk more about that. Let's talk more about that real quick. I would like to talk more about that because since we have a lot of time, we actually did good. We actually have a lot of time on the show, so let's talk a little bit about what we're doing, right? So with the Barbara Rankin project that we're working on, right, for mental health, we are gonna divide we're gonna be dividing your we're gonna be dividing mental health in a different patterns and principles of your life cycle. So we talk about building up mental health in a different patterns and principles of your life cycle, right? We'll learn about dividing your life as far as building up what it is that you're all thankful for, right? So I have another line that I'm working on. It's called Basketball Sensational. And I am developing a newer franchise for mental health show. It is a very big franchise that we're working on. And I have a Suno account. If you have Suno music, you could look me up, Shamika Samuels. And I'm generating a lot of songs that I wrote for the mental health show. And I have a song. I wrote about actually 72 songs of the mental health show, and all these songs is for the soundtrack for the mental health show. And what I do is I build up my brand in a different setting. And what we do as cultural dividing, we divide culture in a different diversity. And let's show you what we do. We slide on to the other section of Brooklyn. Let's slide on to Nostrand and Parkside. So we slide on to Nostrand and Parkside, and we believe in what a change in Nostrand and Parkside, right? We slide back into the West 34th Street and 10th Avenue, and we understand culture as far as Brooklyn and Manhattan. Culture defines how we relate to certain type of feedbacks of our life cycle and what it means to define the diverse culture. It's the what? It's the what? I'm gonna turn my back and I like to turn to the side. It's what? It's what? Revelation, and it's what? Power. It's what? Authority. So we have three things, and you need to write this down. One, revelation. Number two, power. And number three, opportunities. And revelation, power, and opportunity is that our structure balance is growth. And whatever our growth of our power is for you to what? Be what? Riches. That's my name of my shirt. Riches, right? So it used to be riches with what? Money, right? With moolah. So the moolah of riches is the style that we define in our life. And what we look at riches is that this is what I ordered. And for those of you who don't ask me where I bought this sweater from, and I could tell you, I ordered it from Shein actually. And Timu's have it on sale though. They have it at different costs. I ordered it from Shein. I ordered these outfits from Shein, right? So yeah, I said I like it. I like it. Oh, I like it too. Yeah, I like it too. Everybody said, oh yeah. Everybody was like, respect, respect. I like your outfit. Yeah. So so I had to come different for the show. I said, when I started Digital Film Academy, I started, my first interview, I had on a hat like this, my snapback hat from the car show, and I had on a nice sweater or whatever like that, and I wanted to do this for the show, and I felt like it's very positive for the show. Because you learn a lot from developing a plan, right? You learn about developing your atmosphere and opportunities that you have to understand, right? So, everybody asks me who inspired me to do this show, and I'm gonna tell you, I wanna share with you something, right? All right, so I'm gonna share with you something real quick. All right, so let's do this real quick. All right, so we gonna like figure this out. All right, so I wanna share with you something, right? So as you can see here, in basketball, and in playing basketball, it affects the change of young people in general. You put your heart and self development is about understanding what it means of mental health, right? So you put the work in, and you put the work and playing basketball. You put the prayer in playing basketball, right? So so what you learn about that is to understand what your culture is and what your plan is and what is your lifestyle is, right? So your lifestyle is developing basketball. And this is what my favorite sport is, playing basketball. Everybody asks me, do you like baseball? I actually do like baseball. And he asked me what's my favorite team. My favorite team in baseball, I like the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm a big fan of the Dodgers. Jackie Robinson, play on the Dodgers. I'm actually a big fan of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And when Jackie Robinson played in the Dodgers in the early 40s, I started, listening to his history of Jack. I went to the Jackie Robinson Museum, if you at on Canal Street, and I looked at his history of playing baseball, and we look at how his baseball reflects on how our style of life is. So my favorite baseball team is the Los Angeles Dodgers. My favorite football team is the Philadelphia Eagles, and I love the Green Bay Panthers, and I love the Chiefs, the Chiefs, and I'm actually a bigger fan. I am actually a Jets and a Giants fan. I'll be honest with you, I'm actually a Jets fan actually, and a Giants fan. Rolf, go ahead, go Jets. Yeah, go Giants. Yeah, that's right. Go Jets, go Giants. Yeah, go Philadelphia Eagles, go Eagles. Yeah, so I'm actually, basketball. I love the Golden State Warriors. Everybody know that. I love the Miami Heats. I love the Los Angeles Lakers. I love the Dallas Mavericks. I am not. I'm actually. I'm a little fan of the Brooklyn Nets a little bit, and I'm actually gonna start rocking the gear of the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Dodgers because for the mental health show, I'm gonna start rocking different type of teams on the show, and that's a lit thing I'm gonna do, right? So that's coming soon, though. That's coming soon, right? So for the show, we're gonna rock like different type of jerseys and stuff like that for the show. I actually had some ideas that I want to work on for the show, and I'm actually working on it. So yeah, and I have some good examples for you too. I actually designed dogs for the dog museum, and they offered me to design for the art Carol, because I like to do art. So I like to sketch art. So I'm actually gonna be featured in the art gala of the New York Transit Museum, and they're gonna feature my paintings onto the museum for an open gala night. So yeah, I'm sharing with you the good news of mental health, and I'm gonna be sketching a lot of drawings and art, and that I've been doing for a long time. I was majoring in art back in school, so yeah, I didn't know how to draw, but I started practicing and I got a hang of it. And I didn't bring the drawings with me, but I did. I took a picture of the drawings, and I posted on my if you have a YouTube or a Lemonade account, you can look me up, Shamika Savage. I post the pictures of the drawings of the dog museum on my workspace, so you could go watch that. Go look at that. So we've been doing a lot. Been doing that and whatever. And I want to thank. And to be honest with you, I would like to thank Kiana Charles, because if it wasn't for her, she got me into Digital Film Academy, and she believed in me when nobody didn't believe in me. And and thanks to her, I got new swag. Thanks to her, I got new swag. You know what I'm saying? Right. So thanks to her, I got new swag because I put in the work and I work very hard. And I also, want to thank my mom. My mom, she's at work and I love her. Love you, mom. I know. Thank my mom, and I also want to thank my aunts, Latoya, Auntie Molly, and Auntie Karen, for all the prayers and all the support that they were giving me. And and to be honest with you, My aunt Marlene bought me this iPad when I needed something for the studio. She bought me this iPad actually, and and to be honest with you, I said I needed some work supplies for the studio. She said, "I got you, Shamika. I bought the iPad." She bought me the iPad. I was like, "Yeah, I want the iPad." So yeah, so I want to thank them for believing in me, real talk, because it was a struggle at first that I didn't know what I wanted to do with the show, and to be struggle with it, I didn't know what I want to do with the show, and I decided to put the show at live, and I want to thank I want to thank the people that subscribe to my YouTube, and I really do appreciate all the love and all yeah, thanks to having my back, for all the struggles that I've been going through. So thank you guys for have always believed in me when nobody else did, and put it out there, and I want to share this to Kiana, so I want her to listen to what I said. To Kiana, I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, and I thank you for managing me, for supervising me up, and following my goals and the dreams. And I got some great news. Thanks to Kiana, they approved my court papers, and I dealt with something through the court system, and they actually approved my change, and I just want to thank everybody for that. And I want to show you guys my new ID, because everybody asks me, when are you gonna show it on the show? When are you gonna do it? Oh yeah, I'm gonna show it right now. And I want to thank Kiana for this, because now I changed my name has changed, everything has changed. And Kiana Charles, I really want to thank you for this, because you really believe in me to make a difference, and this is what my gender is now. I am a heterosexual. I am identified as a man, and I want to thank everybody for this. Thank everybody for the love and support, because I really do appreciate all the support that you have given me, and all the love. And also, to be honest with you, everybody was talking about, Shamika, when you gonna do the when you gonna do the when you gonna come when you gonna do what do you call it, when you are gonna come up with the designs. Guess what? It's gonna drop soon. I actually have an account on fly the Fly Studio account. You could look up basketball sensational, basketball mentally dream. You could look it up on the thing. You see a lot of designs that I did on the basketball, and the theme of the design is basketball, because I like to play ball. So yeah, so I just want to thank each and every one of you guys for all the love. I really do appreciate all the love, and all the support that you guys are giving me, and the accepting me for who I am. And coming out soon to the show, we're gonna be interviewing a couple of people from the Career Compass. I have interviews scheduled for the show. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that for the summer of 2025, and I'm gonna be back here for the summer, and I'm gonna be doing it real big. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, doing it real big. And I know everybody said, "When you gonna come back to do the show? I like the show. I need you to come back." Yeah, I'm gonna come back into the show. And I submitted something to the Manhattan Neighborhood Networks of an idea that I have, that I want to host an event here, of an idea that I wanted to put together for what we're doing. And we're going to be doing a community talk. It's called Community Mental Health Talk. And what we're going to talk about is different type of topics of how you feel about mental health, and what the struggle of mental health for you was, and questions that I ask people: what is the struggle of mental health? What's the struggle of mental health for you was? And my answer was, the struggle of mental health is how I came out as a person, as a heterosexual, how I present myself, and how I had a problem adjusting to certain things. I had a wall that I had broke on me, and Kiana was like, "You need to break that wall down. You need to go out. You need to share your story. Go out there." You feel me? And Kiana really inspired me to do this. And I always send her my work through the Gmail account, and she was very impressed about what I do, and she was actually very impressed with my work. And I've been sending her my work, and she loved it. And I really do appreciate what she have. She said I should do this more often, and she told me they told me at the Career Company the program was not the right fit for me. They said, "This is the right fit for you. this right here is what you're doing is the right fit for you. And it's like, I love what I do, and I accept myself who I am. And everybody, the staff members at the Manhattan Neighborhood Networks, I want to thank them for believing in me, because I was so shy to do the show. I didn't want to do the show at first, and everybody encouraged me. You need to speak up. You need to come do the show. Come and do it. Come and do it. You will live. You'll be famous. You'll be doing good with your life. You'll be improving. You'll be doing a sensational in your life, whatever. Like, and I said, yeah. I try to, I try to build up my brand in a different way. And we talk about riches. We talk about having a brand. You talk about having a new beginning of your life. Life cycle wise, lifestyle, building up, creating, doing what you do what you can, and you will make a difference in your life, and you will do what you will receive, and you will receive what you do, and a lot of people will say, I like how you talk, and I like the way how you roll. And I say, yeah, you like the way how I talk, because I feel that the way how I talk inspires people to grow differently. And I think about it is, when you do certain things, and when you inspire people to change, it's a good way. And a lot of people say, thank you so much, and thank you for changing. And everybody want to hear my story. Everybody said, what is your life story? What is it that you're gonna bring to the table? And my life story is the dividing and changing up your likes, and changing your looks, and changing up your expressions. And that's what I do. You change up your likes, your looks, and your expression, because you feel like where your life goes tougher, you gotta face reality. When your struggle gets real, you gotta face the truth. And whatever the truth is in your life, you gotta know when to stop and think about what you're thankful for and what you're more capable of. And I tell people, your truth is what your status is, and your life is what you are living. And sometimes when you live that life and you improve your status of your own identity, and about learning the toughest way to get out there is to be what? Riches. Ha ha! And you told me to get there to be riches. You know what I'm saying? When Ding Dong always say, when you're rich and careless, you spend money wisely, and you think about lifestyle. And when you don't look upon the haters, you look upon yourself and your lifestyle and all your life is. And you say, look upon it, and you're not going to look upon it until you figure it out. You know what I'm saying? If you are rich and careless, and you spend your money your own way of life, you got to know when to look at your life in a different perspective of how you divide, and how you change, and how you develop, and how you improve, is how you change your life in a different way. And I'm going to tell you, you can't go change your life in a way of thinking. You have to divide it, and you have to see it the way, you have to see it in the whole things that you could understand it and critique it differently. And that's what it is. You feel me? You feel me, my sister and my brethren, them? How many you know say when life go hard? What your mama used to tell you? What your mama used to tell you when life go hard? What you have to do? Pick yourself up and run to your victory line. Your mama always say, when life gets rough enough, you have to pick yourself up and try. And you ever try and you don't quit, you have to pick up yourself and try, and do not quit, because your levels of your life is what? Believe, and you can what? Believe, and you can what? Achieve. Let me say again. Believe, and you can what? Achieve. You need to say that one. You need to take that to your life be good. Believe, and you can what? Achieve. I'm going to say that again. Believe, and you can what? Achieve in your what? Cultural expansions and cultural beliefs. And sometimes when you believe and achieve certain type of values, you'll make a difference. You'll make a difference in your culture. You will make a difference in your life. You can make a difference in what you're receiving and how you're going to receive it better. And the thing about it is, I could turn this way, and I could say, life is about structure life. Life is about dividing myself. And if I go straight here, I could be like, oh, I believe in myself and I understand my culture. And if I turn this way, oh, I'm talking to my imaginary friend right here. What I'm doing in my life that could build from that? No. You can't talk to your imaginary friend, but you're talking to your fans on the camera, and you're looking the other way like this and say, okay, I'm living life, but how I'm going to live life and somebody can't tell me how to fix it. Nah, let me turn it one way. I'm going to step, on my faith, and I'm gonna step on my understanding, and I'm gonna look at it in a way of what thinking, and I'm gonna liven it up in a way of direction, because my direction is strength and balance of my creativity is going to try to go level out my what moods and deliberate my culture in a different perspective of your life. And sometimes your life is about understanding and how to build, but you not building up instructions and how you structure your life differently. You're not building up certain type of things that you could build up in your life structure. And sometimes you say, "Oh, I like how the person talk." Yeah, you like how I talk because you don't know how to vision yourself in a different way. And your life is about understanding how you need to relax and stop being hyped. You're being hyped too much because you're not relaxed. Because you just yeah, you want to yap your mouth like this, you want to talk, but you don't know when to shut your mouth. And sometimes you don't shut your mouth. It's to know how to believe and how you trust yourself in doing it big. So that's it for the show today. I'm your host Shamika Samuels, and I hope that you enjoy your lovely day and your lovely night. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate it. Look upon this. All right. Let me bend. I got let the picture. Hold on. I gotta let the camera flow. Hold on. Let me, yeah. So that's the riches right here. Riches.